The National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Makgothi Thobakgale, is leading an unannounced search operation at the St Albans Correctional Centre in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape. Now, the main objective is to remove illegal items and take appropriate action against those found in possession of contraband. Reporter Lerato Fekisi has more.
It's been a very busy morning at the St Albans Correctional Centre here in Gqeberha, where the TRB has been doing a raid led by the National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Mr. Makgothi Thobakgale, who led this raid this morning trying to find out exactly what illegal objects are here. And we just had a briefing with him shortly, and he informed us that 7 cell phones were found on the premises here, and also money amounting to 4.5 found on the premises here. Let's speak to him now, talk us briefly about the importance of this raid and also the stats as they stand now at St Albans. National Commissioner, just your overall view about this morning's raid, generally how you're feeling about how the raid was conducted this morning?
The raid has been successful because we came in here targeting a number of cells, but in the main 2 cells, because we had 2 offenders that we were focusing on. Because of the role that they play, firstly in the gangs, they are high up in the rankings in the gangs, but secondly, they are issuing out instructions within, and they are coordinating activities that lead to contrabands being smuggled and utilized inside the facility. And I'm talking about drugs and cell phones and all that. So we were focusing on them, but also they are rich in terms of the distribution process.
National Commissioner, earlier when we spoke to you, you said that you have found that there is a correlation between what's happening in terms of extortion and also drugs from those inside the cell to those outside. So perhaps insinuating that what is happening outside is coming from leadings of those here at the cell. Yes,
exactly, and that's why we also were working with SABC in the operation, because as SABC is doing its work outside to ensure that the crimes that are reported are investigated and those that are involved or perpetuating crime get apprehended. Inside here, they also arrive as we admit them, and they find a particular system that promotes crime that is happening outside. So us working together helps us to bring down the levels of crime.
National Commissioner also spoke about Gqeberha being a city that has been marred with a lot of murders, a lot of extortion. We're ranked number 1 in terms of murder capital in the world. In terms of now trying to stabilize that, how important then is this raid? Because you said that the issue of Gqeberha is becoming worse, but there is a part that you are playing continuously to try and bring down those numbers. I know that we're in the top 10 in terms of correctional services in the country.
When you are sentenced to serve in our facilities, you are sentenced to do exactly that. You serve because you've broken the law and you've been sentenced, found guilty, sentenced, by the justice system, criminal justice system. So you come in here, you're supposed to focus on rehabilitation and corrections. But what we find is a situation where, because of the numbers from outside, when they come in, they still form the gangs that were operating outside. And then there's a correlation between what is happening outside and what is happening inside. So we have to dismantle the gangs inside, as we also are working with SABC to dismantle them outside. So the raid is important in the context of ensuring that we disrupt the free flow and operation of gangs inside, and that also includes our own members who actually become part of these gangs, because our members, some of them don't stay inside the territory. They don't live inside the territory. They are accommodated outside. But even those that are accommodated inside, there are instances where we found contrabands in the houses or the units of our own members inside St Albans. So it's a very intact and intense system that you need to dismantle. And this raid is part of that process.
Lastly, Commissioner, just speaking of your own members, what was quite disheartening and also what angered you this morning was seeing some of your officials arriving late for work, which you said that obviously disrupts then the process that you're doing this morning. How are you feeling about that? And also in terms of charging them, is there going to be a charge given to your members to show how important their work is doing here in trying to irritate them, but also at the same time they're failing to attend work on time?
Well, by now, members that arrived late should have been charged. I mean, I'm sure it's after 7 now. It's an hour after that. They were there, they signed the register to acknowledge that they arrived late. If they are not charged, then I'll have to charge the one who was supposed to charge them. It's disheartening. Every minute you spend on public funds, payroll, and you are not applying yourself to your work, is disservice, to South Africans, because this is the tax that they pay to get us to continue doing our work. Now, how do we continue to keep the public safe if we can't just deal with one simple aspect, arrive on time? The plan was for me to address the parade at 6 o'clock. I could not, because members arrived late. I was asked by management here to address, those that arrived on time. I said, no, I can't. Because when I address a parade, everybody should be there. Arrive on time, be prepared to do your work, and then from the parade, get, a handover report on the previous shift, so you know what you are supposed to do with your shift moving forward. So the whole system is disrupted by people who are just careless, negligent, who, as I said, should be charged by now.
Thank you so much. Well, that was the National Commissioner, Makgothi Thobakgale, speaking about the raid this morning, generally happy about the work that has been done here, but also just speaking about the object that were found, like I said earlier on, 7 cell phones, money amounting to 4.5. But here in the last part, just speaking about his dissatisfaction about the members that arrived late, saying that you were supposed to address the parade during the crossover session, but saying unable to do that because members were arriving late, and also speaking about the issue of gangs, saying that most of the gangs that are happening in Gqeberha, especially in the areas such as the northern areas, it starts here. The work is done within the prison and then it goes out. So it's trying to saying that the main objective of this raid is to try and find the kingpins and to pin down the work here at St Albans to stop the growth of crime, of murder and of gangsterism here in Gqeberha happening outside, but definitely starting here at St Albans.